Hello everyone and welcome to a new video on the channel. Today's video a little bit different. As I said, I'm trying to think of new different ideas for the channel and other ways to show my collection that isn't just your typical collection video. And I'm going to shout out a YouTuber first, an American YouTuber that I watch who has been doing a series of videos like this on her channel, and that is Stephanie over at Movie Chatter. Going through basically films or movies that she likes but everybody hates or generally dislikes, and I've got quite a few in my collection. I thought for this video, first of all, I've just picked out 10. They're all 4K, and again, if this video is well received, then I'll do another video and I'll try and do Blu-rays. I mean, it could go on and on. My collection is very big, and I'm sure there are definitely quite a lot of Blu-rays, especially in my collection, that aren't well regarded, that I actually quite enjoy. Now, I wouldn't go as far to say I love all of these films. There is, I'd say, one film out of all of these that I love, but the rest I would definitely say that I like. They're not ones that I go back to very often, but they're ones that I'm happy that I have in the collection and I like more than others. So yeah, as I said, I've got 10 here. So kicking off, we have Don't Worry Darling, which came out 2 years ago. It's an Olivia Wilde film. I bought this, as you can see on the back, $24.99, brand new. I don't think I have watched this since the cinema, but it intrigued me. I liked it enough to pick it up. I thought it was an interesting film. Had a good twist, which I liked. I'm not going to spoil the twist, but it's very Stepford Wives-ish. But it did get a lot of hate when it came out. There's a lot of drama behind the scenes as well, which I won't get into now. You can read up about it if you're interested, because I don't know the exact facts. But yeah, I thought it was decent. I like these sorts of films. It's kind of set in the 60s, 50s/60s. As I said, very Stepford Wives type film. Definitely more of a thriller than a drama, I would say. Florence Pugh's excellent as always. You've got Harry Styles in this, he's okay as an actor. He doesn't really do much in this, but he's okay. Who else have we got in this? Chris Pine was great in this as well. Olivia Wilde also has a small role in this. She was good in it. Yeah, it's a decent film. Definitely worth checking out if you've not seen this and you're interested, but one that, like I say, seems to get a lot of hate. Next up, another one. I'd say this is more mixed, but I have heard more negative than positive stuff on this one, and we are actually getting a sequel later in the year. I believe September or October, and that is Mortal Kombat, which came out in 2021, and is obviously based on the video game of the same name, or video games, should I say, because I know there are multiple versions of them. But yeah, about a fighter, MMA fighter, who gets sent to this other world called the Outworld, and is basically fighting for the universe, like against all these different characters who I guess are from the video game. But as an action film, it's got great action scenes in this. The story's okay. It could have been better, yes, but it's a lot of fun. It's not too long, just over an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes. If you're looking for a decent action film with some good action in it, then yeah, this is a good one. But as I say, I think fans of the video game were a bit disappointed in this one. But obviously it did well enough to get a sequel greenlit and done. So yeah, I'm looking forward to checking that one out. And yeah, this is one that I personally enjoy quite a bit. Next up is a Liam Neeson actioner, and I quite enjoy a lot of his films. There are some misses, but most of his action films I enjoy. And this is definitely one of them, and it's The Commuter, which is basically, a lot of people describe it as sort of the Taken formula, but on a train. Or it's very similar to Non-Stop, which was from the same director that he did, which is the same sort of concept, but on a plane. And this is just different. This is just on a train. It's about a businessman. He's on his commute home from work on a train. Same thing he does every day, but something happens. A passenger played by Vera Farmiga gets on and tells him he has to do something or someone will die. So he's got to follow these instructions, and it's like a sort of, I suppose, a cat and mouse thriller. But again, one that doesn't really get talked about much, hasn't got the best of reviews, but I really dig. And you got some great supporting performances. You got Patrick Wilson, Sam Neill, Jonathan Banks. I think this was Florence Pugh's one of her first roles as well. There's probably other people in here that I can't think of right now, but yeah, it's a decent action film. Not too long again. I can't see how long it is because there's a sticker covering it up. But yeah, I'd say it's around an hour and a half. Really decent action thriller. If you like your Liam Neeson films, well worth the watch, and definitely doesn't deserve the hate or the dislike that it gets. Then next up we have one from 2022, and it is Michael Bay's Ambulance. Another one that kind of split people. Some people really liked it, some people just didn't like it at all and just thought it was over-relied on big explosions, as most Michael Bay films does. But I thought this film had a lot of heart to it. I thought the central performances from our three leads, especially Yahya Abdul-Mateen and Jake Gyllenhaal, were fantastic, as they played two brothers who have got themselves into this situation. They're very different people. Jake Gyllenhaal is, I suppose you could say, he's a bad, complicated person, but Yahya Abdul-Mateen's doing it for his family. Like, they rob a bank, I should say, and it's all set in an ambulance. They've taken this paramedic hostage, played by, is it Isaac Gonzalez? Yeah, Isaac Gonzalez. And it's just a chase film, basically, with a lot of explosions, like I say, but a lot of heart to it. I really enjoyed the story. Again, tight runtime. How long is it? Actually, no, this is quite long. This is 2 hours and 16 minutes, but it flies by. If you like these sorts of action films, but with an emotional core to it, then definitely worth one. But I think because it's your typical Michael Bay film with a lot of explosions, some people just didn't enjoy it, but I definitely did. Next up we have, I think we're on, no, almost down to the last 5. Terminator Dark Fate, the third best in my opinion of all the Terminator films. Obviously 2 is the best in my opinion, followed closely by the Terminator. And then this would be the next one that I enjoy. I think this is good. A lot of people, I say, didn't get on with this, thought that it ruined what came before. But I quite like the story. You got an older Sarah Connor, again Linda Hamilton, returning to the role after 30 years. I think it probably was near 30 years. Arnie coming back, bit of a different role for him though, more of a sat in the back, more of a supporting character. You got Mackenzie Davis, who's I suppose one of the leads, I would say. And yeah, it's a decent sequel. I think the story's decent. You got fairly good acting in this. I mean, what you would expect from Linda Hamilton and Arnie, really. And the action scenes are pretty decent as well. But it's not anywhere near as good as the first 2 films, but it's still a lot of fun, and it still, I don't think, deserves the hate that it gets. So that's Terminator Dark Fate. Then we have this one, which will probably surprise a lot of people. I've not even opened this yet. I've not seen it since the cinema because I want to rewatch all of these films. But this is the most recent one, and it's Fast X. I actually had a lot of fun with this one. A lot better than Fast 9 or F9, whatever it was called. Yeah, you've got Jason Momoa in this as the lead villain. You've got, obviously, the whole core cast returning, and alongside Charlize Theron returning as Cypher, I think she plays. Doesn't say on the back. But yeah, it's a fun action film. It is what you expect it to be. You can't go into this expecting prestige storytelling, because that is not what you get with any of the Fast and the Furious films. It's just a lot of fun, action, decent characters. Just exactly what you expect from these types of films. And I think this is the best one we've got since probably 7, maybe, because 8 and 9, they were okay, but I think this one was a step up, and I'm looking forward to the last one, or I think there may be 2 more, I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, that is Fast X. Then we have, next up, 4 left, we have Jack Reacher. This is the 2012 film based on the books starring Tom Cruise as Jack Reacher. Obviously this got very polarizing reviews because Tom Cruise doesn't epitomise who Jack Reacher is. He's very short, he's not built out like Jack Reacher is. Like Alan Ritchson is more of Jack Reacher than Tom Cruise. But as the film goes itself, if you're going into this not knowing anything about Jack Reacher, it's still a decent film, I think. Christopher McQuarrie, who's done most of the recent Mission Impossible films, directed this one and wrote it. As I said, Tom Cruise playing Jack Reacher. It's a fun action thriller. You've got Robert Duvall in this. You've got Richard Jenkins, Rosamund Pike, Werner Herzog, David Oyelowo. I always get his name wrong. But yeah, as I say, a lot of fun, decent film. If you like your action films, if you like Tom Cruise, I still think it's worth a watch. Yes, it's not faithful to who Jack Reacher is, but as a film on its own, not looking at it as a Jack Reacher film, it's a lot of fun, I think, and doesn't deserve to be hated against as much as it is. And next up, top 3. This is the one that I said that I actually love, but a lot of people didn't get on with this. And it's Scream, or Scream 5 from 2022, the 5th film in the Scream franchise. And in this we have returning characters, Sidney, Gail and Dewey. Obviously, Courtney Cox, Neve Campbell, David Arquette coming back after quite a few years. I think it was almost 10 years between these films, 11 years I think it was. And then this time, basically, we have a new Ghostface attacks, and all of the lead characters here are somehow connected to the characters from the original film. This one very much goes back to the original film, has a lot of the same themes as the original film. It was a lot of fun, great scares in it. I thought it was a really good story, but I think a lot of people didn't get on with it because they didn't like Melissa Barrera's character. I thought she was annoying. Sam, I thought she was okay, didn't bother me too much. I overall really liked it. I even really like the 6th one as well. I think I probably like this one a bit more than the 6th one though, but yeah, that is Scream, or Scream 5. Next up, one that I think more people hate this than like it. I think it's generally hated, and that is The Matrix Resurrections. Going into this, I'd only just watched the first 3 Matrix films, probably earlier in the year, maybe the year before. It was definitely during the pandemic I watched this, and this came out still during the pandemic. And I thought it was fun. Obviously, nowhere near as good as the first one, but I personally think it's better than the second and the third film, the 2 sequels. I enjoyed it more than them. I thought it was different. I thought it was interesting, the story. But kind of now, after this one, I think they should leave the characters where they are. I know they're supposed to be doing a 5th one. I think, is it Drew Goddard doing it? If I remember rightly. It'd be interesting to see what that's like, but I hope that they just go with different characters and a new story, because where this one ends, I think you don't need to do any more with the story or the characters after this one. But I still enjoyed it. The action was still decent. I thought Keanu Reeves still got it. I really liked seeing Carrie-Anne Moss coming back to this one as well. Yeah, I like this a lot more than most people enjoyed it. So yeah, that's The Matrix Resurrections. And this one, if you watched my live stream the other night, I did mention that I like this one, and pretty much everybody dislikes this one. There are a few that are on the same page as me that liked it for what it was, but most people just hated this film, and it was one of the worst films for them last year. And that is Madam Web, which I enjoyed it for what it is. I thought it was a fun film. Yes, it probably should have come out 20 years ago. It did have that kind of feel to it. But the story as it was enjoyable. The action, when there was action, was fun enough. And I had a good time with it. Great soundtrack, decent bits of comedy thrown in there. Yeah, the story's very stupid, very plain and generic. But yeah, this one I'd watch again. Out of all of the like Sony Spider-Man, Spider-Verse, whatever call it, films, the higher one for me. I think worst, definitely Morbius, then Venom Let There Be Carnage. Then I'd probably put this, then the first Venom, and then Venom The Last Dance, which I really liked, thought that was really good. I haven't seen Craven yet because I've heard bad things about it, but I'll get around to it eventually. But yeah, Madam Web, decent, but I know a lot of people really hated this one. So those are some 4Ks in my collection that I generally like or love, that most people dislike or hate, that I thought I'd show, because some people may agree with me on them, some people may really disagree with me on some of them, but we all like different things, which is what I love about film. It's just, what's the word? There's a word for it. Can't remember, but subjective. Yeah, subjective was the word I was thinking of. Everybody likes different things, which is all great to me. But yeah, those are some of the films that I like that other people don't. But that is it for this video. If you liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and turn your notification bell on so you know when I have a new video uploaded to the channel. Comment down below anything and everything. As you know, I always appreciate when anyone takes the time to leave me a comment, and I get back to anyone that leaves me a comment. Let me know, do you agree with me on any of these? Do you strongly disagree on any of these, on what I think? Let me know down below. As I said, I love interacting with everybody that leaves me a comment. And that's it. So until next time, everyone, take care. Goodbye.